Mazi Chikose, let us debunk these lies that the insecurity in Southeast is induced by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa. I want to believe that the insecurity in Southeast is induced by the Islamic jihadists, the Fulanis, and of course the Federal Republic who have invaded the peaceful Southeast. What's your reaction?
Of course, by history or antecedents of the past, we can, without any confusion, without any controversy, agree that in the first instance, the spread of Islam, especially in Nigeria, came with some sort of violence. And this violence seems to be the way of Islam propagating their own gospel or expanding their own horizon. But that unfortunately become very bad as far as Nigeria Islamic movement is concerned. Just as some persons will also cite, make reference to Usman Danfodio's statement, ideologies, and beliefs that he is meant to conquer the entire Nigeria, including the South and South or Eastern region in particular. So when you understand the movement of these ideologies, Islamic ideologies or radicals, they do not intend to protect or promote coexistence among one another, different ethnic nationalities. And this informed the most recent happenings, where you see the version of communities, the killing and manning of children, and the, of course, eventual takeover of communities by the same Fulani militias or who believe in Islamic jihadists as a way of conquest, conquering communities, ethnic nationalities to take over what belongs to them. And how does Mazi Nnamdi Kanu come in? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu believes in coexistence. He's a liberal man. He believes that humanity, of course, has to live, not just living, but living a well-defined life that is acceptable by all, where everybody will be given equal opportunity to live and, of course, aspire and achieve their expectations or aspirations in life. What is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu asking for? What are his major, of course, focus or ideology? What drives his position? He wants the common good of all. Even in his broadcast, he said that he is coming so that the entire ethnic nationality will be liberated, educating the masses, telling them what they need to know and how they must get their freedom. That is an inalienable right to freedom. And this informed the reason why he said, okay, let there be restructuring in Nigeria so that each region can control their resources. You can imagine the whole entire northern population that claims to be the highest in terms of population and, of course, land mass. They have enormous natural resources that would have been a highness to develop their own region and empower her own population. But unfortunately today, what they failed to do has brought unimaginable destruction to the entire northern hemisphere and her population. Today, they not believe that they are the most impoverished region, even when they control the highest resources of allocation coming from the federal force. You see, their own region has been exploited. You can see military armed struggle going on, of course, banditry and illegal mining being sponsored, chaos being created by some traditional rulers. Just as of recent, the governor of Borno State was warning the traditional rulers to be careful of illegal mining and, of course, sponsor of banditry. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is fighting for the common good of humanity. What was he asking? Good governance and good welfare for her own population. Let the life of her people be protected. The life of Biafrans is asking for, of course, regional control of resources and people-oriented government, where people will feel the sense of belonging, where Africans will evolve, not just mere existing. See, today, Nigeria has become the mockery of the nations, the most impoverished state in Africa, the center of poverty. What religious inclinations cannot do. So you can understand this very much clear. So this is the reason why, of course, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is being incarcerated. The same thing applied to Simon Ekpa. He's asking, as Finland is the most happiest people on the earth today, what is the ranking of Nigeria in this profiling? Is Nigeria found among the first 100? The question is no. So what is that Finland is enjoying after the fourth war against USSR to have their independence? They understood the price of independence. They know what they are fighting for. When they got the independence, they built a system, they entrenched a system that is acceptable by all. Today, Finland is considered to be the happiest people on the planet Earth. You know what that means? It means it's a place where system work, where values are appreciated and encouraged, where humanity evolves, where people are given the right to expression. But the liberty.
But the same Simon Ekpa is said to be the cause of insecurity. I mean, in fact, the federal government has vowed that they will not sleep until they arrest Simon Ekpa. I mean, but I am saying, is Simon Ekpa the real cause of insecurity?
Unfortunately, the government of Nigeria is. The government of Nigeria, and of course those connected to the corridor of power, are the reason why Nigeria is what it is. They are the non-terrorists inflicting pain, sufferings, hardship on her population. Look at the level of embezzlement, corruption going on, economic terrorism. With greater terror could be more higher than that, where you impoverish your masses to the point that Nigerian masses cannot afford to eat. Some are dying as a result of hunger, starvation, poor healthcare system, no social welfare, no social security, no health security. So the politicians are the terrorists terrorizing their own population. Just imagine where you can buy a government that just is less than 1 year, procured yachts running into billions of naira, went ahead and buy 160 million SUVs for close to 1,000, of course, House of Representatives and Senators. From the scarce resources, he went ahead and buy another 160 billion private jets. What budget do they have for the common masses? But they're telling the masses to fasten their bets until they are destroyed. So what Mazi Simon Ekpa was asking, or is asking, is that he wants to replicate his experience in Finland. You know, he escaped the destruction or the torture within Nigeria. And when he discovered that there is a way of life that is acceptable in Western and developed society, he have adopted that way of life. And he said, no, this way of life is how humanity should evolve. And I want to introduce this way of life to my people so that we can be part of those, at least the 10th most happiest people on the earth. Now, as a Nigeria, where do you fall in this rank? As the most happiest? Are you the most happiest? You are not even considered as the first 150.
When Nigerians are found on the most saddest list, not on the most happiest.
You can imagine. So, do you now want to be identified with the most saddest country of the world, or to be aligned with the most happiest. So that is what Simon Ekpa is. And he said, I will replicate Finland's indifferent land. What is he saying? That rule of law, the rights and respect to fundamental rights of the people must be entrenched and respected. That people will enjoy peace. When you don't eat, when you have no source of livelihood, how will you enjoy peace? So today, Nigerians are wallowing in abject poverty. The most impoverished. So even those who believe in Islamic or religious fanaticism have not done better for our own population, just as Sokoto is one of the most impoverished states in Nigeria. So if religion is the solution, they would have been the richest, just as Dubai also practice Islam. So what makes the difference is the sincerity and commitment on the part of those concerned to tell their own people the truth. So Simon Ekpa is not to blame over what is happening. Simon Ekpa is responsible for the hike in fuel today, where there is discrepancies, where people they are trying to use Nigerians' brain, play politics with Nigerians, and exploit them. You are not. You are no longer the hurdle of importation of crude and this have been removed, and you are still hiking the price of fuel. Why Dangote is in Lagos here? He sourced for his raw materials in Nigeria, and you are still suffering Nigerians increasing the hike. So the government should be held responsible for the insecurity in the east. That's why Simon Ekpa is saying, evacuate your military personnel. The government sponsored or non-government in the east. Because you cannot tell me that you are militarizing the entire eastern region and see there is insecurity, there is kidnapping going on, there is adoption of indigenous persons. Now, what should be blamed? Is it not the security or those who brought them there? So if they are still there, very much presence, and things are getting wrong, now let them go. Let's see what will happen. Because they have been alleged to be the reason why the entire eastern region have experienced, of course, unrest. You know, prior to this time, the eastern region is, according to international statistics, verified that the eastern part of Nigeria was the most peaceful part of Africa. But because they don't want that record to continue, they are sponsoring security in the east, where people can no longer travel to their homes without fear of being arrested or kidnapped. You saw what happened to the Methodist prelates in his own Okigwe hometown. He was adopted very close to the military checkpoints. So what does that mean? And the military shielded those who kidnapped him, because when the locals, communities wanted to invade the forest in search of those miscreants, hooligans, they were resisted by the military. So what does that tell you? No, what does that tell? Do you need another angel to interpret what is going on? And the man came and testified that these people are working with the security of agents. And they threaten more, of course, attacks on the indigenous people. So is someone responsible? So if you, for instance, you have a company and you employ guards to protect, of course, your business, and whatever is being stolen from the company's storehouse, who should you hold responsible? Is it the guards?
Yes, definitely.
The guards should be held responsible. Why is who moved this thing out of here? So if insecurity is still sustained, is going on in the east, even with the presence of heavy, of course, military and security operatives sent by Nigerian government, then there should be questioned. Who is the one sponsoring this or abetting or ending this? Because it has become a source of course, revenue or making money, the easiest way of making money. Of course, collaborating with those dasant elements and sharing whatever may be the proceeds of those kidnapping ventures and all that. So Simon Ekpa and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have been vindicated today. They asked for the security and for the well-being of her own people, their own people, and it is not a crime to ask that we want our people to be safe and protected. That's why he formed the ESN. Unfortunately, that was sabotaged, of course, by the governors there, who are afraid also to protect her own population. They only resort to crying, weeping governors, weeping helplessly, failing to protect the people, and they have refused the people to protect themselves, which is quite unfortunate.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mazi Chigozie, for that brilliant submission, as usual.
It's a pleasure.